She learned about the wedding date the same way she learned most things in her family by overhearing it, then being asked to help. The venue was already booked when her brother called. He spoke quickly with that familiar confidence that came from knowing she would say yes before he finished the sentence. There was a deposit problem, a catering quote that needed smoothing, a few vendors who preferred dealing with someone organized. She was organized. She always had been. Writing the checks didn't feel like generosity. It felt like gravity. An unspoken rule that she orbited closer to responsibility while others moved freely through celebration. She told herself it was practical. She had the savings. She didn't want drama. She didn't want their parents stressed. She didn't want to be the reason anything fell apart. Somewhere quietly there was also hope, not a demand, just a thin, unexamined belief that being essential might translate into being included. The exclusion came late after invitations had gone out. Her brother called again. Voice lowered, rehearsed. He didn't sound angry. That made it worse. It's just the space is tight, he said. And honestly, I don't think you'd feel comfortable there. You know how you are. I don't want the tone to be weird. She asked one clarifying question, not why. Just whether he was serious. He was. Framed it as consideration, as maturity. As protecting everyone's experience. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't insult her outright. He simply placed her outside the circle and spoke as if that placement were logical. After the call ended, she sat at her kitchen table, longer than necessary, hands folded. Noticing how calm the room was. The refrigerator hummed. A receipt lay folded near her phone. The final catering payment confirmation still in her name. She didn't cry. She felt something flatter than that, a kind of internal reorganization, like furniture being moved in a house she thought she knew. In the following days, she didn't confront him. She didn't announce boundaries. She didn't threaten consequences. She reread contracts. Instead, she reviewed email chains. She noticed details she'd previously ignored because they didn't matter when she believed she mattered. The catering agreement listed her as the sole authorized client, not because she insisted, because she'd handled everything. She waited. Waiting for her was not avoidance, it was alignment. She wanted to be sure that whatever happened next would feel clean. When she remembered it years later, 2 days before the wedding, she called the catering company. Her tone was neutral, almost apologetic. I just need to confirm something, she said. If the event host changes, what's the procedure? The coordinator was polite, professional. She explained policies clearly. Without the account holder's confirmation, services could not proceed. Last minute changes required written authorization. Liability was explicit. There was no drama in the explanation. That was the point. Authority didn't arrive shouting. It arrived documented. The morning of the wedding, she didn't attend. She went to work. She answered emails. She drank her coffee slower than usual. At 10:47 her phone began to vibrate. Then, again and again, messages came from cousins she barely spoke to, from an aunt who never texted. Confusion threaded through the words. Do you know what's going on? At the caterers aren't here. They're saying something about authorization. She did not respond. At the venue, guests stood informal, closed while staff explained calmly that they could not proceed. No tables set, no food arriving, no dramatic announcement, just a visible absence where certainty had been expected. Her brother argued She later learned Dodd raised his voice, insisted it was. Handled. The coordinator repeated. Policy. The policy did not bend. By early afternoon, the story had spread not as gossip, but as logistics. Something had gone wrong. Someone hadn't. Finalized something. The mood shifted. From celebration to containment. She heard about his expression from a mutual friend, the smug confidence gone, replaced by calculation, then panic. When he finally called her, it was evening. She answered. What did you do? He asked. She didn't match his urgency. She didn't defend herself. I didn't do anything, she said. I wasn't invited. I wasn't authorized to make changes for an event I wasn't attending. There was silence on the line, not disbelief, recognition. He tried to reframe it, said she'd overreacted, said family should understand, said she'd embarrassed him. She listened without interrupting. When he finished, she spoke once. I paid because I thought I was part of it, she said. When you told me I wasn't, I adjusted accordingly. She didn't ask for an apology. She didn't explain her feelings. She didn't need to. After that, the family fractured softly. Some relatives avoided the topic. Others reached out quietly, acknowledging, without praising. No one celebrated her decision. That was fine. What mattered was internal. For the first time, she noticed how light her calendar felt when she stopped filling it with obligations designed to earn proximity. How her money felt like choice again. How silence, when chosen, could be protective rather than lonely. She did not feel victorious. She felt aligned. The power didn't return with applause. It returned with clarity and stayed undeniable. In the calm way she no longer offered herself where she didn't belong.